Hey there, welcome back to my channel. It is TCHANEL, and as you all can see by the title, I am going to be doing a really quick, hopefully quick, Q&A video. I know that I have a few new subbies, and some of you old ones actually don't know some kind of way, child, because I am the most transparent person you all will ever come across on the internet. But somehow, some way, there are some of you who still don't really know a whole lot about who TCHANEL is, and I allowed the people, you guys, to ask whatever you wanted to ask, whether it was about me personally or about the law of attraction, manifestation, whoop-de-wop. So I'm just going to be reading off of my phone some of the questions that you all asked, and because I don't really like talking about myself all that much, I'm going to start with one that was asked about the manifestation process, and I'm trying to get to the question, girl. Trying to get to it. Essentially, she says, what advice do you have to give for attracting the big manifestations? That's a really good question. The manifestation process is always happening. Okay, y'all have heard me say this so many times before. We can manifest big things, we can manifest little things, we can manifest a mess, or we can manifest a miracle. And how you manifest one thing is low-key how you manifest everything. So the first thing that you have to really program in your mind and really fully understand is that you are already good at manifestation. The word manifestation simply means to make appear. That's it, that's all, okay? I think a lot of people take this word and make it out to be more, or make the process out to be more than it really is. It's totally not necessary. So, I guess I'll give you guys a little bit of a backstory. I made a video, I think it was either end of 2018, early 2019, where I shared a scripting video where I was scripting out my dream home. And at the time, we were very, very close to homelessness. And when I recorded that video, so my life was nowhere near, it didn't look anything like it looks now. And about a year and some change later, which was last summer, we closed on the home that we live in now. So this is kind of a loaded question, because it's kind of loaded, but it's at the same time it's not, because if you can manifest a cup of coffee, you can manifest your home. You get what I'm saying? Just like I said, how you manifest one thing is legit how you manifest everything. So that's going to be the trick for most of you all who have that question, who were wondering the same thing legit in real life. So if you guys can get to the point where you are confident in manifesting things that you actually want, and you master the techniques that work for you. Key is that work for you, right? Because there are so many manifestation techniques out there. And my top two are scripting and visualization. Anytime I want to manifest anything that's legit, all that I do is I write it down, and I practice visualization. But as we know, there are so many different techniques. You just have to find the ones that work best for you. Stick to that. You don't need to try everything, right? Just try a few. Just go with what feels right, right? If you have any doubt that a particular technique is going to work, then don't even try it, right? Because it's not going to work simply because there is doubt. So just find one or two techniques that really work for you, and let that be that on that. And anytime that you want to manifest something, then you utilize those techniques. Now, I also always talk about the woo-woo and the reality, right? So if you know that you want to manifest a home, But you also know that your credit is jacked up, right? So you want to manifest a home that you want to buy and own. Not to say that some huge miracle could take place and someone just gives you a house. Like, that could legit happen. But the probability is really low, but it's definitely possible. So if you know that you want to manifest a home, but you know your credit is bad, or you know that you don't really have the income at this point in time, then you need to kind of do what you need to do in order to get into position, right? So the magic comes in how long it's going to take to get your credit to where it needs to be, to get your finances to where they need to be, right? It could take the average person 6 months to a year, right? But it could take you, if you actually do the work, far less than that, okay? I always use one of my mentees as an example. I'm not gonna say her name, but y'all have seen her on my channel before. She just last year, summertime, you know, she was not quite in position, approval ready. She was not approval ready to purchase a home. She participated in Ritual Week, which actually starts today. It actually starts in less than 2 hours. Anyway, which I'm really excited about, right? For everybody who's participating, shout out to y'all. But anyway, she was not, this last July was not really there yet, right? She was thinking, oh, it's gonna take me a year, maybe 2 years before I can get in striking distance of getting approved for my home. And boom, she moved into her home in December, right? See how that works? See how where she was approved, I think, in September. So it only took her a couple of months after doing some very intense work that I gave the participants the last Ritual Week. Please don't ask me about Ritual Week because I'm never doing it again live, so don't you worry about it. But anyway, that was a really long answer to your question, but it was kind of a loaded question, and I just wanted to make sure that you got your answer. All right, so the next question is, what do you do for a living? I do multiple things. I am essentially a serial entrepreneur, and yeah, so I'm a realtor. I've been licensed for almost 14 years. I have an online academy for manifestation. And what else do I do? I'm an author. I obviously am here on YouTube. And I have an apothecary. Yeah, so I do multiple things, child. I am a serial entrepreneur. How did you get into spirituality? Well, I've always been spiritual. Well, I was, up until several years ago, I was very religious. I grew up in the church, and I've always said this, I went to church 8 days a week and twice on Sunday. And then I left the church. I actually have a video here on my channel as to why I left the church. And then I just began to seek out answers, right? Because there came a point in time where religion wasn't really doing it for me. It wasn't really feeling right anymore. There was a lot going on in the church, and then there was a lot, it was just a whole lot of it, and I knew that something wasn't right? But because I was raised in the church, and you know, we are taught that, you know, if you ever leave the church or you turn your back on God, then, you know, the wrath of hell, whatever. But I just did it, and then I started sharing my experiences, my yeah, basically my experiences here on YouTube, and that's pretty much how my YouTube channel started, and how it grew to where it is today. Alrighty, where do you live? I live in Houston, Texas. How old are you? I am 41 years young. Do you mentor? Yes and no. I don't do one-on-one mentoring anymore because it just, for one, it's not very affordable for most. And then also it just takes up a lot of time. Okay, it takes up a whole lot of time to work with people one-on-one. I love doing it, but you know, being that I do so many other things, it just wasn't the best use of my time. And because I am just one person trying to split myself between my family and all these businesses, I really couldn't mentor that many people at a time anyway. But I do have a membership program that will be launching, fingers crossed, hopefully next month in April, that you guys will be able to participate in. More details will be coming on that, but that will be the only way that you can get mentored by me in a group setting. And yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. Are you married? I might as well be. I'm technically not, but definitely in a long-term relationship with my baby father. What advice would you give to someone starting a YouTube channel? Make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, because there are so many people that see the larger channels, you know, those creators making a whole lot of money, and that's amazing and that's great. But if that is your reason for it, you just have to know that most of those people, there are some overnight successes here on YouTube, absolutely, but most of those people have been grinding for years, right? And it was a slow climb to wherever they are right now. So just make sure that your motivation is not money. But I would say get started. Aside from that, I would just say get started, get over your fear of being in front of the camera, because right now I'm in my studio by myself with the camera and the lights, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So there's really no reason to be fearful or nervous, because there's legit nobody watching me right now. I'm very comfortable on live, as you guys know, but for those of you who are just wanting to pick up your phone or pick up your camera, you can legit do it, and you know, don't be afraid. But the more you talk about it and not do, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you really going to achieve the goal that you want to achieve, or hit the mark that you want to hit if you never like pull the trigger, right? It's just not gonna happen. So stop talking yourself out of it. You don't need a camera. I am using the Canon G7X Mark II. I have been using this camera for a couple of years, I think. A couple of years at this point. I really like it. It's definitely time for me to upgrade. So I will probably be passing this camera on to my girls, my kids actually, who want to start YouTube channels. But I did not start with a camera. I didn't get this camera until 2 years ago. And I've been on YouTube for about 6 or 7 years. So start with your phone. I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max. And this quality is actually better than that one. Better than my camera. My camera records up to 1080p. This one goes up to 4K. Right? So the quality is, there are differences though. So there are things that you can do on a camera that you can't necessarily do on a phone. Like in my opinion, the phone doesn't really process light all that well, whereas you can adjust the lighting and get it to work in like a low lighting setting. And the phone, yeah, they say it can do it, but it doesn't do it the way that a camera does. But work with what you have. I think the most important part is going to be being yourself, for number one. It's really difficult to be somebody else, and eventually your true self is going to come out, and then people are going to be looking like, oh wait, who this, right? So just start out being yourself. Don't try to you know, match what other creators are doing. I don't even watch, here's the thing, I don't watch other law of attraction teachers anymore. And even when I did, I still didn't watch on like a regular basis. I'm not subscribed to anybody that teaches what I teach, and I do that because it's really easy to start sounding like somebody else, and I never want to sound like anybody else. I've actually noticed that it's so funny that a few of the people that watch my channel and who have channels, they actually say a lot of the things that I say. Doesn't bother me, but I just think it's kind of funny. But you definitely want to have your own voice, and you want to, whatever you are creating here on this platform, you just want to sound like yourself and be yourself. Start out with your cell phone, get you a tripod. Tripods are going to be very important, ones that you can hold in your hand if you want to vlog, and then obviously one if you want to record as I am. Lighting is also going to be very, very important. I have two, I don't even know what the hell these lights are called, but if you click the link in my description, I have a whole page for creators on Amazon. So if you click that Amazon link, it will take you to I think it says must-haves for creators. The lights I use, I have two, I want to say they're LED lights, and then I have my ring light right here in front of me. And this is my studio, but technically it is our theater room on the outside of our home, and it's very dark. As you all can see, the walls actually look a lot lighter, but they are almost black. That paint is almost black. There are no windows, so the lighting is in here is very horrible. It's very low because it is a theater room. But these lights actually do the trick. I have 3 lights and it works. Or you want to, well, in addition to having lights, you want to make sure that you have well, natural lighting is always best. So if you have a large window that you can sit in front of and record, that is going to be the best lighting. It's just going to be better on your skin, whoop-de-wop, all of that. But you know, at times you just need some artificial lights, and so you just need some artificial lights. But just keep in mind, if you record in front of a window using natural lighting, be mindful of the time of day and how the sun moves and shifts. If it's a very dark day, if it's raining, if it's cloudy, obviously you're gonna have issues because you're not gonna get that natural light that you need. So artificial lights are going to be hella necessary. White backgrounds are always best because they just project better on camera. But at the end of the day, legit, just get started. That is the key to all of it, is just getting started, okay? I think those are going to be all the tips that I have for those who want to start YouTube channels. Do you have any children? You must be new here. Yes, I have 6 children. I had my first child when I was 15 years old. She will be 26. Yeah, she'll be 26 in 2 days on March 23rd. And then I have 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 11-year-old twins, and a 7-year-old. So yes, I have 6 children. And y'all have seen them before on my channel. It's been a while, but y'all have definitely seen them. But yes, I do have kids. What would you say to someone who is having a hard time manifesting? Well, I kind of already answered that question. I would say register for Ready, Set, Manifest, which is my online manifestation course. It's lit, it's dope. It's gonna get you right, it's going to get you together. It is linked in the description, readysetmanifest.co. Not to plug my own ish, but yeah, that's what you want to do. What would you say to someone who is wanting to purchase a home within the next 6 months? Well, start with pulling your credit and knowing your status, so to speak, knowing where you are as far as your finances are concerned. Most lenders are going to want you to be working, have income, consistent income for at least 24 months. Credit scores, for just as generally speaking, right, there are not that many, but there are some programs that will allow for your credit scores to be a little bit lower, like FHA. Sometimes they go down to 580. When the C thing started, everything just got really strict. Programs went away, funding went away for like down payment assistance programs and things like that. So you want to have a relatively strong or decent credit score of 640. Some require 680. Obviously, the higher your credit score, the lower your interest rate, the better the terms are going to be. So pulling your credit, I would have a mortgage professional analyze your credit report. That is going to be the best thing that you can do. You can look at it yourself to try to guess, but if you can get to a mortgage professional, allow them to pull your credit, they will be able to analyze your credit report and tell you what you need to do to get in position to be approved. That income component is very important. 24 months, most places or most financiers, most lenders, excuse me, that is what they are requiring nowadays. So make sure that you have that in place. You are going to need to have some money saved up for closing costs, inspections, appraisals. That you're going to need some money up front. Even if you can find a down payment assistance program, you are still responsible for your appraisal fee, your inspection fee. If you get, put a contract in on a home and for some reason the deal falls through because of the inspection, the next house you're gonna have to get inspected as well. Inspections are not required but highly recommended. So you're gonna have to pay for that. Closing costs, you can ask for assistance from the seller, but in this market, in most markets, I will say that's not really fine. They don't have to do that. That's like them giving you free money, which they do not have to do because the inventory is so low in so many areas. So get your credit report analyzed by a professional, a mortgage professional, and allow them to tell you where you stand and what you need to do, and hopefully you can link up with one that will give you what is that thing called, a plan to, and they will tell you, okay, you need to pay off this debt, you need to dispute this debt, or whatever the case may be. They will give you the 1, 2, 3 on what you need to do in order to be approval ready within 6 months, assuming that you already have that income component in place, the longevity at your job or with your business. Let me say this to the business owners, the entrepreneurs out there. It's really important that you file your taxes, because it makes it really hard for you to prove your income if you are not filing your taxes. And then also, you do not want to write everything off, because the lender is going to take the number that is your adjusted gross income, and that is your income. So let's say you made $75,000 last year in your business, but you've written off everything and your adjusted income is $40,000, where you're not going to be able to get approved for that much of a house only earning $40,000 a year. Chances are that's going to be in the range that you don't necessarily want to be in, because the home that you want may be, $4 or $5 plus $100,000. So just make sure that you are not writing everything off, especially if you are desiring to purchase a home. All right, so let's see. I do have more questions. Let me try to skim through. Why is the spiritual journey so lonely? Girl, if I had that answer, you know, I really don't. Why is it so lonely? Well, because everybody is not on the same path at the same time. And so we just have to understand that. And, you know, being that we are wanting to go a different route from the masses, you just have to understand what comes with the territory and understand that it can be really, really lonely, and you just got to be cool with that. At the end of the day, you just kind of have to be cool with that. I kind of touched on this in a live last week or so. Find your tribe, right? There are a lot of us who are on spiritual journeys, and there are a lot of us that are like-minded individuals. So you just need to find where they are and connect with those people. It doesn't have to be lonely. You shouldn't be like upset about it, because I'm not. And if you just stay focused on your journey and where you're trying to get to and what you're trying to discover, I think you should be okay. All right, so I might do a part 2. If you have any questions that you want to ask me that I did not answer in this video, just go ahead and put them down in the comments, or shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I may do a part 2. The questions can be personal. They can be law of attraction related, real estate related, you know, whatever y'all feel I'm an expert at. I would definitely be more than happy to answer the questions for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give it a thumbs up before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.